I'm bringing this up. There we go. Let this all cascade and do its fucking first time setup stuff. I'll probably still only run until about midnight tonight, which is about 2 hours from here. But I just wanted to kind of, you know, have a short yap. I need to update the 2 comfy models for nights like this where I just want to yap. Because as it currently stands, neither of those have the updated rigging, which does mean that I could theoretically use them without V-Bridger, but at the same time, if I'm not using V-Bridger, like if I were to do that, it would free up resources, and I'd want to do something other than a yap stream, because I'd be able to do maybe like a quick jog or something. Today we didn't do a whole lot, really. Tomorrow, I don't know how things are going to play out, for me in particular. The plan originally was hanging out with Nami and Frosty, because it's their birthday weekend. I'm still gonna try and hang out with Frosty. I haven't heard from Nami since Monday. Frosty apparently has, so hopefully that'll still play out fine. And then since I'm streaming today, I might use Sunday as a cleaning day. Because it's supposed to be like my usual break day from streaming. Which means that it's going to be a day that I work on stuff off stream. After stream today, I just need to batten down and work on the Pride piece that I've been intending to do. Because I wanted to have it done in time for Frosty's birthday. We're notably past the halfway point of the month. So, we're a bit off from plans. Granted, we've been off from plans since PC got stuck in limbo for a week at the beginning of the month. And then obviously got put even more into limbo due to PC getting stolen. Which just screwed up my motivation in general on a lot of shit. Including but not limited to, like, an incident where I just plain didn't get an opportunity to interact with the person I raided, due to my computer, you know, having that issue where I'm X number of minutes behind in streams. Because it just doesn't load, and I wound up raiding in right before an ad, so I didn't get anything involved with that. I don't know. I think I like interacting with people when I raid into them, and that's one of those. Hey Ray, how you doing tonight? And it's one of those things where I just kind of feel bad when I can't, like, directly interact with them. And, I mean, in the end it was also around their ad break time, so that was just weird in general. That's good, at least. The sun's gone down, so hopefully it'll be cooling down around here and I'll be able to actually somewhat relax. I mean, I have a little bit of stuff that I need to clean up after stream before I get to working on other stuff, because we repaired and cleaned up one of the fans in the bathroom that's been has not been operational for a decade? A while? I don't live in the devil's armpit. I don't know what you're on about that. There are definitely places that fit more that description. I don't live near the equator. Yeah, there's two. There's two sides of the planet. I'm not expecting the humidity to go away considering it keeps raining, like, till next month sometime. What we have is we have humid for however long. We have 2 weeks where it is a little less humid. And like 3 days in that where it's basically a drought. And that is thankfully right around when it starts hitting the, like, 108 on the inside region. Yeah, it doesn't really decide to separate night and day for rain, but it rains just frequently enough to make it to where the humidity does not go away. The one where it gets complicated is moving into autumn, where it seems to just decide based off of what is most inconvenient for whoever's dealing with it. Because when I was doing shows in 2021, it decided that that was when it was going to be super fucking humid, but the past few years, it doesn't really do that much. I don't know. It gets weird. And then we start moving into autumn where things get merciful, and then we get our beautiful cold temperatures. After the weird limbo state that we also get during spring where, hey, you're going to sleep at 6 a.m.? It's cold. It's 30 degrees. You'd better bundle up under both your layers. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to sleep. Oh, it's noon. I guess it's time to kick ourselves up to 85. Oh, you're still asleep? I'm sorry. Well, you better get out from under those covers. Otherwise, you're gonna be suffering when you wake up. Or you're gonna die in your sleep. Who knows? I've thankfully never been in a direct area where tornadoes touch down. That's normally in town. We just get heavy winds that threaten to knock down trees because they've been hit with so many goddamn pesticides at this point that it's a miracle that they're still standing. I mean, we did have one of them that crashed down a couple years back because it just ran out. I can agree with that. I've seen videos of tornadoes. They seem interesting to watch. It's just, you know, it's if they were like, 5 feet away from me and I started getting lifted off the ground, that's when I'd have a problem. I saw a video the other day of some dude that decided that he was going to sit in his garage as the tornado went by, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. That seems like something where you're gonna get like a suction issue, and if you're... And the only scenario in that is actually lucky if you get sucked out. Because the other option is that the suction causes the entire area around you to collapse inward. I know that my uncle and my father said that they had an instance where they were able to watch tornadoes from across the Ohio River at one point, way back when. I don't know. I've never actually, like, watched a tornado in person. I've seen the after effects of it, and gotten fucked over by insurance companies, in regards to one. It depends on the size of the earthquake. Neither one of them is exactly fantastic. I mean, for fuck's sake. And the only bright side is that with a tornado, you can at least watch it and not be affected by it directly. When it comes to an earthquake, either you don't know it exists, or you know every bit of what it exists. There is no just visual for it. Aside from maybe if you live close to a mountain that it's affecting and you can watch the landslides, but you're watching the landslides, not the earthquake. I saw a video yesterday about earthquake that happened in Japan, and the people were hiking on a mountain, like near the peak of the mountain at the time that it happened, and that was certainly something to witness. I'm genuinely disappointed that Scree wasn't one of the options for that. I think that the most interesting thing I saw was from the group of videos that I saw this morning, was the landslide in, I think it was Iceland? Where it was just an entire sheet of the island just went into the ocean. There was like a dozen houses that just all in one piece. Sucks for everyone involved because, like, you know, a dozen people lost their houses. But it was really cool to watch. I wonder what, like, the insurance logic is behind that. Like, how do you even deal with that? I forgot that Haiti had a massive earthquake in 2010. Which is really weird because God was that beaten into my head every week at school about that. Because that was when freaking America was really hard into their world police thing. If anyone has even the slightest problem, we have got to make it our problem. And God, we stick our noses into places we shouldn't as a result of that. Interesting. I don't know, I don't keep track of that. I have enough difficulty freaking keeping track of what insane shit Hours is doing. And even then I want to freaking just scoop out parts of my brain in order to freaking just not have to deal. It's part of why I've stopped freaking using Blue Sky as much. The weirdest one that I've seen in regards to that is apparently there was until like 2006 an island off of that little nubby peninsula that hangs off of Mexico. That, like, I mean, obviously was on maps up until like 2006. And it just disappeared. Measure. You can't just have me a map with a freaking little dot on it and then tell me that the map doesn't exist. Or that the dot doesn't exist on the actual map, you bastard. Let's see here. Island was not found in a 1997. Okay, so it was 97 when it allegedly disappeared. They did try again in 2009 to find it, but couldn't find it either. So up until 97, it quote-unquote existed, and then it just vanished. I mean, it could be worse. It could be a desert, and then just be called desert in 2 different languages. Or it could be Los Angeles, and then have it could be the Los Angeles Angels, which is just the Angels Angels. The Angels Angels. I just find it very funny that every single desert on our planet is just desert. I mean, that's the thing, right? I could understand cartographers, like, modern cartographers doing that or something, like, oh, there's a legend of this. Time to hunt for it. Like the theories that Atlantis is just some elaborate joke. Or something. And then freaking that. But this has been going on since the 17th century? Like, who's laughing at this point? To keep up the freaking charade of this island totally exists. Then again, it could just be a vampire. It could be a vampire. He just occasionally pops in and says, oh yeah, I'm the son of the guy that, you know, had claim to the island. Can you, like, try and find my great-great-grandfather's island? Cool. See ya. No, I don't know why I look like my great-great-grandfather. Don't ask questions. I just want to find the island. We're a very close... I'm related to him. That's why I look like him. And at one point in time, they're just going to say that they keep getting cloned. Why are there no records of cloning? We're rich enough that we have our own private cloning vats. Fuck you. Okay, but to be fair, at least in one of those instances, the IQ of the person in relation to that, as far as any, like, common sense goes, already accounts for that. My assumption is that the mirror is still useless because it's still affected by... I mean, first and foremost, because mirrors don't work the way for vampires as they do for us. For vampires, in most cases, they are portals to the other side. In most, like, instances of that. Until you go to the point of the silver portion, of which... in that case, the silver being that close to their face might actually cause damage. But, theoretically, in this instance, depending on which belief it is, assuming that it's not a portal, in this mythology that we're referring to, it's still going to be affected by light. So, where they won't see, you know, themselves, it's still going to be dark because light can't reach it through their actual body. Just because they can't see themselves does not mean that the light makes it to it. It depends on the mythology. It depends on who's writing the fucking thing. Yeah, but who gives a fuck about shadows when you're writing about vampires? I mean, if we're going by movie techniques and whatnot in regards to that, then the answer is that they're just taking images / videos of an empty room, and that's extra effort that has to go into it. It's all about prioritization when it comes to writing. I don't even know what the fuck that is. If they want to prioritize that, that's their job. That's their, you know, prerogative. I don't write about vampires, so I'm not gonna freaking lecture people on how they freaking write their vampires. I've always been more of a lycanthropy kind of eggplant anyway. I don't watch a lot of shows recently. I mean, literally the only things that I have watched as far as, like, series was a little bit of one thing during my sister's birthday, which is an ancient series, and Anime Night. That's it. I mean, I missed the opening portion of JoJo, and that's one of those things where I'd want to actually, like, keep track of it, like, from the start. Also, I don't even know if my PC would freaking handle Anime Night currently. I've recently gotten to a point where my computer starts giving me fits trying to save images. Sometimes it'll give me fits when I'm trying to save images, and then earlier today, it didn't give me fits when I went to save images, but when I tried changing folders because it went into a different folder, it froze for a minute when I was moving folders. I have no idea, is the thing. I have no idea what it'll handle and what it won't at this point, which is a very big problem. Which is why I really wish that I'd been able to get a hold of Nami sometime this week so that I could possibly get, like, a follow-up. On how talking about the insurance thing went. Hi, Deborah. Because she was supposed to talk to... Well, she did talk to them. She did confirm that she talked to them on Monday. But I have no idea how that went because I started the stream on Monday before she confirmed that. And she disappeared before... I mean, obviously she was off doing either asleep, hopefully asleep. I'd like to hope that she got some sleep that night. But either that or... pulled into work. She does sleep, it's just normally on Saturdays. And I will give shit about that. Because we still haven't done her trial. She is on the right track for her trial. But we got a bit sidetracked. Well, we didn't get sidetracked, but we haven't finished it up yet. She picked the collective, which makes sense because her character doesn't really have much spirituality to it. That's why she had the athletics check where she got a double nat 20. Because the way to get up the mast was frozen. Alright, see you, Eric. But it was frozen, so she had to do an athletics check to actually, like, get up it. Yeah. I think that Nami's would have been the most difficult for the spirit. But I did have, you know, ideas for it. Also, I never actually paused the preview of the YouTube stream. So that's been eating up a little bit of extra CPU this whole time. That is up to her. She might mention it to you and those that are a part of the expedition. But I don't know if she'd bring it up to, like, everyone back at the actual ship. That's true. The tube of mysteries. It's probably one of the more, I'm not entirely sure I'd say difficult, but due to the nature of it having a relatively specific way to figure out its secrets. It might be a little more difficult-ish. But it's... I think that you have the majority of the information for it. The difficult part in it is that how do I put it? The way to uncover its secrets are a bit indirect, I guess. To be fair, your interactions with it directly have been a bit more on the limited side recently. Because I don't... Did you mess with it much in your transit from MGI to, the current island? Because I'm not entirely sure if you did, off the top of my head. I'd have to look into my GM notes. Fair enough. I'll be right back. I need to freaking hit the bathroom firstly, but I also need to get a new box of tissues because freaking eating earlier, I freaking used up the last one. Wrong earbud. But yeah. I do kind of wonder, how we're gonna progress currently, because Nami might be back on babysitting duty on Saturdays, potentially. So we gotta figure out if that's gonna be an indefinite thing, in which case we have to figure out how things are gonna progress from there, or if it's just we're on a hiatus for a couple weeks, like it was last time. But hopefully we have that answer by, you know, the time that it matters. Considering last time, or considering we're not doing this week, because hopefully we're all hanging out tomorrow, the three of us. I have no idea, because I still don't know what Nami's state is. But we'll figure it out. All else fails, I do have a bit of time to figure certain things out in that case. But I have no idea. I mean, in the end, like, as far as role-playing and whatnot goes, it's easy to, you know, make up for having only certain people. It means that whoever's unavailable has a bit more difficulty with, like, or has a few points that they're missing that their character can, like, be fleshed out in regards to it. But that's fine. It's a matter of if, like, you're in the middle of something major, or, like, story progression, and then, like, person is unavailable or person returns or something, that's when things become complicated. Because it means that either you have a player character walking around as an NPC and not doing anything leading up to it, or they just have to magically teleport to you. Yeah, egg. I got bald redeemed. We actually got a bunch of eggs today. That was one of the main things that came along today. It was like the only non-cleaning item that we got. One of the only non-clean. Stop telling me when freaking important notices happen. I haven't used you in a bit though. Maybe change that tomorrow. I don't know. But that thing that well, Tebber is probably back at work now. But that thing that I sent Tebber the other day about, you know, doing a lot of investigation as a collective rather than having like X, Y, and Z already fully written out and whatnot. Kind of what I've been doing for a lot of the D&D portions of the campaign, like the Syncope timeline. Or any tabletop, I guess. I have basic outlines for how certain things work and whatnot, already established. And then, when it comes to the actual details, then I sort those out as they become relevant. Like for the Monster Girl Island, I had already established its basic structure of each of the tendrils having a different branch of like a branch of biology types. You know, spread into like mammalian, reptilian, insectoid, XYZ. I had already established that, but I didn't have the exact details of like who the heads of were for each branch until it became relevant. Which is kind of the way that I like to run these things, because like, A, it allows me to focus on the important things like the broad strokes, without like going into every little detail and then like having say Mayor Jaundice of Clan Pestilence in X tiny town that is on the road from the port city to the main hub, and then they just decide to walk over it. Like, there's no real point in putting that much time into it when I could be putting time more into you know, puzzles that I know that they'll interact with, or encounters, or, you know, history and whatnot that they might ask about. And if they do happen to go into that area, I have the basic little bit down, and then I can actually give them the full rundown if they, like, explore it. Even if I have to, you know, ad-lib in the middle of it. It's a good way to prioritize resources. Because something like a puzzle can be swapped out into other areas if need be. Putting, you know, 30 hours throughout the week into, like, 2 characters, and then the party just doesn't care to interact with them. It's not really as easy to move them around if they're, like, very story-tied. Not saying that that GMs and DMs that do it that way are wrong. It's just, you know, my style of doing it, and it seems like a good way that a lot of people have come down to it. Monsters can go into different areas, puzzles can go into different areas. Very big major characters are a little harder to put into different areas. If they're, like, very story or important for very specific parts. That was neither here nor there. I just like doing world building stuff and tabletop stuff in general. It's really ironic because I'm not that good as, like, I don't think I am, anyway. I don't think I'm good as, like, a standard writer. I'm good at world building, but I'm not very good as, like, a standard writer, like lines of dialogue, exact movements of characters in X, Y, and Z. Who knows, maybe if I were to actually sit down and write something, maybe it'd come out decent. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what I want to, but if I were to have time to sit down and write stuff, I'd probably focus on trying to set up my tabletop system, because I think that that would be more worth my time, to be able to have a system for modern syncope. Rather than trying to adapt systems that are either generics, which I haven't found one that balances well. Because a lot of systems like to either be very, 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 very crunchy or have zero crunch to them. And the ones that have less crunch to them like to fall into the D&D problem of a lot of stuff has a number of problems if you're using them out of combat. D&D has a wide range of skills. Something like, what was the system called? Cypher. Cypher's the name of the system. It has your dex, it has your strength, and then it has your intelligence. Your intelligence covers everything that's not one of the other two. Wisdom is intelligence. Perception is intelligence. Charisma is intelligence. All of it's intelligence. Which A, is fine because it leads into more roleplay with an E rather than roleplay with two L's. But it leads into a bit of a problem because some things do have to be checks. So you wind up just roll me some intelligence in order to freaking do XYZ. You're trying to do a survival thing, roll me some intelligence. Trying to check the horizon for enemies, roll me some intelligence. Trying to blah blah blah, roll me some intelligence. Unless you have a specific skill in there. And then GURPS is on the opposite side of the spectrum where you have such specific things that there is no way to even be okay at a good number of things. Like, I spent, I don't know, it was like 50 fucking points, which was the majority of points, plus me having extra points from taking debuffs into pistols. Which machine pistols were not considered pistols. They were their own classification. So I, despite having a plus 18, which is like a max bonus, meaning that I cannot possibly miss unless there are debuffs that are affecting me, I have a plus 2 to literally anything else that's a gun. And that's only if it's a gun. Which makes sense for things like being able to use a sword effectively is not the same as being able to use a polearm effectively. Which polearms were in themselves split into, like, spears, halberds, blah blah blah. But, like, they're different skill sets, right? Using other weapons, like, in the same classification does not have the same skill discrepancy as that. If you're an expert marksman with pistols, like, I don't expect you to be an expert marksman with, like, a long rifle or something. But basically, barely being able to do anything beyond wobbly hold the weapon in the general direction of the enemy is not how that works. Which is where holes start to form in it. Because when it comes to stuff like that, then the shooting portion of it is normally not where the difficulty and difference in the weapons comes from. It's normally stuff like maintenance, reloading is, you know, a thing, because obviously, aside from, like, magazine-fed shotguns, there's going to be a lot of difference between, like, I don't know, is the Ithaca? Between, like, an Ithaca and a freaking, using Resident Evil 5's terms in my brain, and an AK. But pointing in the general direction of the enemy and pulling the trigger is not going to be that much more difficult. So, like, where maybe not get the full plus 18 to it, like, I don't know, a 14 or something? I don't know. There's a reason why I don't like GURPS, is the thing. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I don't like GURPS. GURPS also does a lot of things where it's like, it doesn't have orientation for you being, like, an above-average person to refine it. You are an average NPC-level character regardless. So I don't know. I'd like to find a perfect system, a generalized system, but I don't think that I would. So, making my own system would be fun. But again, I'd have to actually have time and whatnot to do that. And to playtest it in X, Y, and Z. Because, I mean, sure, make a system, but, you know, it could just be unbalanced dog shit. It's always an option, a possibility, which becomes a problem in itself. Now, let me do something real quick here. That's what I want. Okay. I'd forgotten to turn timestamps on for my freaking chat, so I need to keep track of when redeems are done because I don't have the Twitch end of redeems anymore. So I don't actually know when redeems are done because the Streamlabs one doesn't keep track of that. And Bald lasts an hour. It's the only one that's on a timer, but it does become a problem when I don't have track of, when I can't keep track of it. I've had like freaking 2 crash outs over the past 2 days. I mean, one of them's one that just doesn't really go away as easily. Because it's just a long-lasting one that freaking... It's a what I call a brain spike. Because it just latches in there and just constantly freaking... bleeds out freaking frustration kind of deals. And like... I don't know. It was one of those things where it just kind of was a group of things that all came together. And me realizing certain things. And like, an overall thing of me like questioning friendships in general. Because of some people's prioritizations. Stuff that hadn't come to mind, like, at first, but slowly started to, you know, over time happen. Because it started off with over a year ago. The first one that happened, like inviting a friend to do a game, and them going, oh no, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it at some point. Maybe, blah blah blah. Yeah, maybe not. Blah blah blah. I don't know if I want to, like, restart on X, Y, and Z progress and this and that. And then, like, a week later, them fucking playing the sequel game. And with just, like, a whole other thing. And restarting their character in order to do it. And it's like, that seems a little fucked up. And it wasn't, like, until recently where I realized, like, why it rubbed me the wrong way, especially. Because it's like... Okay, I see how it is. We're friends, but, like... Because my numbers are... not... X, Y, and Z, you just go with Y group. Willing to restart your entire character on the one that you have more progress on, rather than playing the game that you have less progress on, that you openly stated that you bought specifically to play with friends. Oh, no, I'm not mad, I'm just... And I don't know. And then they freaking started doing, like, other freaking X, Y, and Z and whatnot, and it wound up rubbing me the wrong way, like, further down the line. But it was the initial one that I forgot was the actual catalyst for it that was, you know, where it started. To the point where I just don't interact with that person, like, at all anymore. And then more recently, like, another person... And they're, like, more honest about it to a certain degree. Like, they openly state that a lot of, like, they do X, Y, and Z because they want to, like, reach X, Y, or Z goal of growth or whatnot. And it, like, makes sense when they're, like, you know, joining big streamers competition, showing off their skills, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, having anniversary and, like, not a single bit of acknowledgement from friends. Not even a, like, happy anniversary, good luck on the new outfit debut, XYZ. But them, like, retweeting, like, 4 different things for someone else's debut, gassing them up, and, like, someone that they'd known for, like, an hour. Because the other person had X, Y, and, like, X number of followers, and they hadn't debuted yet, and it's like, okay then. And then recently, like, a whole, like, big thing, and just, you know, not even getting a passing invite or anything, like, and, I don't know. It's one of those things where you know someone for, like, 4 years or something, and you're, like, friends with them and do, like, X, Y, and Z. And then it's, like, it comes down to business-related or anything. And I'm just gonna label this business-related at this point, because that's what we're treating it as at this point. And it's like, it really does just feel like I'm not acknowledged as a person and just seen for, like, my CCV number or my follower number or whatever. And it is genuinely the reason why the brain spike hurts. And why I freaking mention how, like, there's a non-zero number of friends where I feel like I have more connection to people that I have had passing conversations with and passing interactions with that I am not even, like, that I'm not even mutuals with on anything, that I feel more connection with than them at this point. Because I actually get acknowledged as, like, a person, rather than my CCV number or my freaking follower number or whatever. And it's not, like, a matter of, like, being able to join or whatever. Like, in the end, PC wound up getting shafted, and we're back at square one on that until I get a follow-up on how the insurance talk went. So, I might not have been available for the thing. That's not the problem. The problem is just, you know, not being acknowledged at all because my number not freaking certain point. And, like, I freaking crashed out with Kraka about this, like, the other day, and... like, she invited me to do something, and I'm like, whenever PC comes in, I'm down for it. Like, I appreciate that, and, like... Kraka's... in that realm of people that I am close friends with, but I'm actually kind of afraid. Like, I have this self thing in the brain where if someone's got X like level above me, I feel bad because it seems like it might be like clout chasing or coattail riding. I label it as coattail riding. Like, I've been mutuals with, I'll just fucking say it. I've been mutuals like Mecha since I became a VTuber on Twitch. And like she's like big. Like, she collabs with VShoto regularly. So I'm obviously like deathly afraid and whatnot. And for a little bit, the brain bit saying, don't be a freaking coattail rider asshole, blah blah blah, quieted off because, like, I mean, Meika's in that region of, acknowledgement of being to a certain point where, like, there's no harm in, like, being friendly with other people and whatnot. And, like, it just benefits everyone involved. And whatnot. So, like, I don't know. It's still one of those things where my brain overthinks it, to put it bluntly. But, like, I know that's, like, I should. Not that it matters, because, like I said, I can't collab with anyone really currently anyway, because my PC is just not going to handle it. It's one of those things that I'd probably rather just, you know, play some stuff off stream anyway first. Because, just because we're mutuals does not mean, like, we mesh well, you know? So I'd rather, like, you know, test the waters kind of deal first. Like, me enjoying their content and them enjoying my content does not mean that when we're in the freaking same call that we bounce off each other properly, you know? We could just freaking be on the exact same wavelength and freaking everything's, like, the greatest thing on the internet or whatever. Or we could, you know, just have 1 decibel off, or not, it's decibel? You know, the frequency just being like 1 freaking thing off, and it's like, just doesn't mesh well in that case, and then it's like, well, we'll still be, you know, friends, whatever, but, friends, mutuals, whatever, but, you know, it just doesn't work for content-wise. Which I think is always something that's fine. Like, you can be friends with someone and just, if things don't work, like, live, then things don't work when they're live. Doesn't mean that you have to not be friends anymore. It's like a lot of people have been apparently talking about how some people just refuse to acknowledge that, hey, maybe you know, interact as people before you, you know, try and collab beforehand, rather than having that awkward, I have to figure out how we mesh together at the same time as we're crash coursing through whatever game. So I don't know. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to, like, say, and I think that people that are making people feel bad because they say, hey, maybe we should see if we mesh together that way before we do it live. I think that anyone that's getting mad at people for, you know, having that kind of mindset's unreasonable, and, I mean, honestly, probably just in it to try and freaking snag a couple extra numbers, to be honest. Which is just, I don't know. Maybe I'm even not a cutout for this whole content thing. I'm kidding, obviously. Like, the people that are very numbers oriented and whatnot are few and far between. I think that's something that we've learned a lot over the past few months between, like, the Cinder thing and a lot of discussions that have, you know, come out from that, is that for, like, every person that says, oh, that's just how things are, you know, we just do numbers or whatnot. There's like 150 people that are like, no. What the fuck is wrong with you? So, you know, it's kind of comforting to know that I'm, like, not crazy for just being like that. And wanting to be, like, reasonable and whatnot. Rather than just going, okay, well, if I strategically do this and strategically do that, then I'll wind up making X, Y, and Z growth points at this point, and that point. I mean, obviously, there's still certain points where, like, there are strategic points that are made. Like, if I have a certain thing that happens, like, I've had certain things influence decisions like that before. Like, way back in when I was doing RimWorld, which I don't even know if I could run while streaming right now. I got, like, a big raid, and I decided to pass it on. It also was the fact that I didn't have any friends that were live at the time, but, like, I was like, I have this. I could raid into a person that's normally above my punching weight and not feel as weird about it. And, you know, it helps. It only happens, like, once a year or something like that, but, like, you know, sometimes you gotta take that shot. Take your opportunities at certain points. And it's not something that winds up hurting anyone. Like, raiding into someone, like, and spreading a little bit of positivity is not gonna freaking hurt anyone, so it's not like I'm taking advantage at someone else's expense. I have to really pee though, so I'll be right back. Oh. Okay, it's been an hour. I can get my hair back. Well, that's one of the key points, right? Is, like, in a case like that, it's very much in the rising tide raises all ships thing that people have been talking about a lot. I gain a little bit. They get a few eyes that might not have seen them off of that, and they gain a bit, and it works. Both of us improve. As opposed to, like, just kinda freaking X, Y, or Z, I don't know. Without talking about, you know, the big incident, I don't know if I can think of, like, a big example of someone just freaking cutthroating in order to do it. Which I guess from a certain perspective is a good thing. That means that it's rare enough that there's not, like, a bunch of, like, obvious examples. That's how we all improve, right? Is we freaking make ourselves a nice big net that interconnects each other, and then we freaking... Some people decide to, you know, walk over this way for a bit, or will freaking, you know, sit right in the middle of the two connecting or the connecting line. And, you know, like yours truly, multi-stream drift. I don't know why, but my head started freaking where it wanted to constantly be tilted upward. But that's the thing, right? Is it's really, you know, just... It's how you do it, right? And... It's... We're in a niche, right? So people are going to know. Even with the sheer number of people there are, people talk to each other. Like, if you're going to be a dick, people are going to know that you're a dick, right? If you're a good person, people are going to know that you're a good person. Like, freaking... I mean, the obvious points being, like, big ones, like freaking Mouse and whatnot, where they do X, Y, and Z, lift people... Zen lifting people up, and freaking... Obviously, there's certain people that'll go, oh, but they only do that for their friends, that's why they constantly want to freaking do V-Shoujo, X, Y, Z... They're only gonna even consider their friends. No, they wouldn't even bother with tryouts if they were gonna do that. They've brought in their friends beforehand. I mean, obviously they'll do a private tryout to make sure that they're a good fit, but... If the goal is just to bring in their friends, they're just gonna bring in their friends. You're just talking in bad faith, either that or you're trying to pull a freaking Reddit and go, oh, but this is bad, and then you're actually doing it yourself despite the fact. But they don't realize that your stuff is also being looked at. All your stuff is being looked at, so you talking shit is just going to lead to them going, hey, you talked shit? Why should we consider you when you've been talking shit this whole time? It's like people talk about, like, you know, if you get turned down from, like, Hollow or something, don't go freaking bitching about it and blaming Hollow or whatever, because they keep track of that stuff. And if you're going to be volatile like that, they're just going to not accept you at all. Because they keep notes on that stuff. And the fact that you're crashing out about it and, like, blaming them for it means that you've already tossed in something, so they do have a record of you. Because they're a business, they're gonna keep, you know, records of people that have applied and whatnot. And And they'll just, like, put a big black mark right where you freaking went, oh, Ex Corpo was absolute dog shit. They didn't even give me a chance, you know, because they didn't go with you. You've probably got competition of, like, 300,000 people or something like that. Exaggeration, probably. But you get the idea. They can't choose everyone. But if you know, act like they're the worst thing ever because they didn't choose you, they're never going to choose you from there on out. Because you've already freaking put a black mark. Also, I forgot to get rid of my Be Right Back. But yeah, I don't know. Some people just... need to learn common sense, dude. Or have more self-awareness than a sea sponge, at the very least. It's like freaking the internet's crash out, like, yesterday, was it? I mean, it's the third one in the past month. Like, going to actual freaking comment war in favor of someone. Person comes along, says, hey, I actually don't hate this person. And then everyone suddenly goes, ooh, you're not allowed to do that. And go, well, I didn't actually like them to begin with. They've always been an awful entity, and they don't deserve the time of day, and they shouldn't have their platform, and it's like, it's so tiring, dude. I don't know how you freaking... You have such a hair trigger in order to, you know, fight for someone when they're going against someone that you don't like. But the moment that they say, I don't hate this other person that you don't like, you're immediately saying that they don't deserve to be on the internet. Especially when they're doing shit that, you know, should have already been a red flag. Like, they're just full chest doing heinous shit, or believing in heinous shit. With, like, freaking audio-video receipts. And you're like, oh, we can pass by that. Oh. However, you don't absolutely hate, fucking... I don't know. Let's just use the exact example. You don't absolutely hate Pippa? Well, I guess that we can't agree anymore. I guess I'm gonna have to shoot you now. And these people are the same people that were going freaking back during the, back when Fillion got into that whole thing with the YouTube's thing and whatnot. Like, we're constantly posting, oh, you excuse racism, but you draw the line at freaking art theft, and it's like, and then here they are freaking arguing about freaking... I excused things that I literally cannot repeat on Twitch or YouTube the topics that were discussed, I literally cannot repeat them here. And those were excused. But I don't hate content creator. Oh, guess that I'm gone now. I don't know, dude. I just want my computer. I want to be able to have fun with my friends. I want to be able to reach out to people that I've been friends with or mutuals with for a while. Like, I wanna... I was hoping that I'd had my freaking PC situation all sorted, because, like I've mentioned, I wanted to be able to, like, shortly after Rhea debuted, bring back VTuber Vault and have her on for it, if she wanted to be on it. Like, obviously I'm not gonna freaking force. Like, I'd asked people before, and they said no, because it's not their vibe. Like, not everyone's there for talk shows, like, whatever. Even if it's just a hangout type deal. I ain't gonna freaking, you know, say I'm not freaking... I'm not gonna say that I'm no longer friends with freaking, like, Pahi, just because... his jive isn't really for talk show type deals. So... and I'll, like, obviously, whenever PC happens, I'll ask Rhea if she's interested. I've got a few other people that I want to, like, ask. One person might just say no because she also has her own VTuber-oriented talk show that she does with friends. So it would be... I don't know, like, I don't know how that would play out, honestly. Like, we both stream our respective ones at the same time, and have... because I use a chroma key. I don't use a chroma key, I use freaking Spout. But, like, we have our respective ones at the same time. There's a half dozen people that I want to do the VTuber Vaults with that are also artists. And I don't know which one will be the first one, but I want to do it, like, as a special. Where, like, I have VTuber Vault / Artist Archive, like, meeting kind of deal, and, like, have it as a special event or whatever. I originally wanted to do that last March. Unfortunately, it was a compressed time thing that I, like, reached out. Like, it was, the person was graduating that month. And obviously they wanted to spend their last 2 months and whatnot. So, it is what it is. Oh. Everything breaking? The fuck happened there? I don't know. Everything on my end just kind of froze for a moment there. And I don't know what caused it. Currently no, because I can't play a lot of things. Once the new computer comes in, yes, for sure. I'd be down for it. Like, if I could be sure that, like, even if I wasn't streaming it at the same time, if I could be sure that I'd be able to run some of the things that people normally want to do, I'd be fine with it. Oh yeah, once I get a new computer, I'd for sure be down for it. Which hopefully I'll get a follow-up on that tomorrow? Because hopefully I get into contact with Nami? Because we were all supposed to hang out, because it's hers and Frosty's birthday weekend. But I haven't heard from Nami since Monday. Yeah, that's kind of what wound up happening on our end as well. Is Nami had a few parts, which is why it was being sent from her place. And we had to shift to Plan B because who knew when tariffs were going to end, and it meant that like half the parts that were on the list just were never going to be available. And then she set things up and then was sending it, and then it got stolen on the way here, so that's why we're back where we are now. And they had zero progress. There was zero follow-up. Not even that they had zero progress, they just hadn't talked to us at all after that. For like a week after they confirmed that it was stolen. So, had to contact the insurance people, because I'd really rather not them just go, oh yeah, we finally got off our asses and looked at the cameras that are pointing at our doors and realized that it was John Betruger who just walked out with the whole last computer tower and no one questioned it at all. Yeah, we finally got a warrant to go to his house, and we got the case and the hard drive. Everything else had already been stolen. Sorry for your luck, but we delivered the two things we still had. We don't owe you anything now. Goodbye. Fuck that, dude. I mean, there is a chance that, you know, they did just up and start using it when they got it, but the odds are that they just freaking started pulling parts and shipping them off of eBay or some shit. Because that's kind of one of the big things that a lot of people wind up talking about for that kind of stuff, is people will rarely just yoink stuff unless they already have a buyer. I mean, let's be honest here. When they're like burgling and whatnot, unless they already have a buyer and whatnot, they won't just steal. Because the longer you hold on to it, the longer it is that you can get caught. So obviously they're just probably going to start immediately trying to sell that shit on eBay. And at this point, it has been 2 weeks since the confirmation that it was stolen, with 0 follow-up as far as I know. So, better to just insurance claim it at that point, because it's almost certainly not in one piece anymore. So I'd really rather just not worry about the fact that they're just going to try and deliver what little they find at the end of it, and try and say that nothing went wrong, and not have to, you know, account for the fact that 90% of the things scattered to the 4 winds probably shipped back through them, ironically enough. It really sucks that I can't, like, trust 90% of shipping companies these days. Is before this. Okay. Which really sucks because, like, normally the people that get blamed for it in that case are, like, the people that are doing either the talking, the, you know, service reps, who have nothing to do with any of it, or the people that are doing the, you know, shipping. That's normally due to damage, like, damage stuff, is, like, people that do the driving get blamed for that, despite the fact that they're not the ones that are loading everything and whatnot. So, I don't see the point in freaking blaming them for that. Because they're just transporting the stuff. They're not, you know, placing your... They're not placing your graphics card underneath someone else's, luxury dresser. The armoire. It's fucking crazy, dude. Just the kinds of things that freaking happen between here and there. And most of the people that are normally at fault for this stuff are... I mean, firstly, at the point where they just don't give a shit, because they're under shit working conditions. But they're never gonna freaking actually be the ones that wind up getting the shit that they deserve for, you know, when they steal shit. Because they're not at any of the tail ends of interacting with actual people. It is certainly something. And I can only hope that I get some actual good news if I get a response at all this week. Which the reason why D&D was canceled was because Nami already said that she was going to be hanging with Frosty for their birthday weekend. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll join you both. If we're not having a game anyway, I might as well hang out with, you know, since I'm friends with both the people involved. What do you do, dude? That's the difficult part, is that freaking Nami definitely works for one of those businesses that does not care for her actual health and just freaking takes advantage of the fact she has insomnia and forces her to have like 40 hours in a row. Not that it goes on record. She's on salary, so it doesn't go on record because they don't have to pay her for all that. They just pay her for, you know, the amount of time she's scheduled for. Meaning it's not illegal because it's not on record. You can make up for the work for the people that have actual 6 months of paid time off, right? And apparently that's the logic. And it's genuinely just painful, to be honest. I don't know, dude. We have been going for a little over 2 hours. I think that I might end slightly early. That way, hopefully I can get the bathroom mopped up from all the debris and whatnot that fell out of that fan. And then by midnight be working on like the art that I've been sitting on for however long. Unless there's someone in particular that, like, I'm very close with that's going, I don't think I'm gonna raid tonight. I do kind of wish that there was a, another filter for follows you. That way I could, like, look through mutuals when you're looking for someone to raid. I'll watch Zeal. don't think I'll raid into Zeal right now. I need to do another art stream. I'd like to raid into Art Friends again. It's been a bit. You're doing something that I don't like to raid into. You're doing... Have I raided into Red recently? No, I haven't raided into him in about a month. Sure. I'll raid into Red. All of my stuff's gonna break real quick, and by that I mean it's gonna permanently break. I'm just gonna end the YouTube stream. Let me... There's the socials. You can join the Discord or follow me on Blue Sky in order to keep up to date on things such as when I go live, what I'm going live with, and art like you see in the corner, and like I'll be working on off stream. Since I streamed today, probably no stream on Sunday. I'll probably take that as a quote-unquote break day. That's also going to be me working on cleaning up / renovating stuff.